Guys, what's going on? Sunday Soccer is here. In this week's episode, we talk about the Irish in Europe, Bohs somehow winning 2 games in a row, the mighty L3 qualifying for the Confederations Cup semi-finals, and summer signings. Kicking off this episode by talking about the Confederations Cup. Now, the Confederations Cup is a pre-tournament for the World Cup in 2018, if you guys don't know already. We have the 4 semi-finalists all booked up and sealed. We have Germany, the world champions, Portugal, the European Championship, Mexico, the CONCACAF Gold Cup winners, and Chile, the champions of South America. They are the 4 semi-finalists. The mighty L3 made it. Come on, Mexico! Viva Mexico! Yes, I'm delighted with that. The past 2 Mexico games, the one against New Zealand and the one against Russia, me and Jack Breslin, what a lad, spent the 2 games in town in Murray's Bar and O'Connell Street with a bunch of Mexicans with a crazy atmosphere. Honestly, I really didn't expect the atmosphere. I was expecting literally to be the only Mexican in the bar. And when Mexico scored, everyone would be looking at me like, what the fuck is he doing? But it was just absolute insanity. So Mexico are on the way to the semi-finals. And they will face the daunting task of world champions Germany, while Portugal will face Chile. It's kind of what I preferred, to be honest. I thought Mexico would have a better chance against Germany because they're a young squad. I think Mexico, even though they have struggled to beat both Russia and New Zealand, have the capability to do so, because they have the likes of Javier Hernandez, Chucky Lozano, Herving Lozano anyway, if you don't know his actual name, Jonathan Dos Santos, who have played really well yesterday against Russia. Confederations Cup though, the hosts, Russia, you kind of feel sorry for them. I always like to see the hosts do well, just because it's in the city and it gets the country behind the team. Unfortunately, they didn't, and to be honest, that Rush team weren't great at all. Except for the New Zealand game, which most people thought they'd win. I expected them to lose, but they did put up a good fight against Portugal. They only lost 1-0. But I thought they would. I thought they'd definitely lose to Mexico. Not just because I was, blinded by the devoted passion I have for L3, but just in general, I thought Mexico would just be the better team in general. But before that, the dream of Mexico winning the Confederations Cup could have been in tatters after Chris Wood put New Zealand in front against Mexico. That would have been one of the biggest shocks in world history ever. It was oh my god, the whole bar went silent. But I'm glad Mexico did get the win in the end. New Zealand, though, in that game had a bunch of chances to keep themselves in the Confederations Cup. But Chris Wood, once again, was just bloody awful. He had chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. I'm still not finished. Chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. He had so many chances and just wasted every single one of them. And basically, because of him, they had no chance on the last day of doing anything and were spanked 4-0 by Portugal. Portugal finished top of the group on goal difference, unfortunately. I think if Mexico had gotten one more goal, it would have been down to lots to see who would have qualified top of the group. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So Portugal finished top of the group and Mexico second. Now on to Group B. Germany played Cameroon today, won 3-1. Really good game, actually, in the second half. First half was dead. Nothing happened. But in the end, it turned out to be a decent game. Cameroon put up a fight. But that video ref again. Video ref, please stop. FIFA, I will bribe you. I know how much you love a bribe. FIFA, I will bribe you for not to use video referee analysis, because it's shockingly terrible. It takes too long. Everything is shit about it. Oh, stop trying to kill our game. Our game is perfect the way it is. The IFAB or whatever they're called are trying to make the game 60 minutes to stop time waste. And your video referee does the exact same thing. It wastes time that we could do on the match. Let the referee have the decision. It's worked for years and years and years. Why change it now? Just, video referee cannot go on. It's just terrible. Who came up with the bloody idea of video referee anyway? I like the way it is. Yes, the referee may get some bloody decisions wrong, and they may be the worst decision in the world, like that Thierry Henry handball, but it's part of the game, and that's why we love the game so much. The controversy, the passion, the thrills and the spills. Not so you have someone looking on a video analysis and possibly getting it wrong, as in the Chile game against Cameroon. I think that was Chile's second game, maybe? No, that was Chile's first game. Chile's first game, video referee Cameroon. The Chilean player was onside and the video ref gave offside. And the video ref today in the Cameroon and Germany game sent off one player first, and then the referee that was actually on the pitch had to go back and actually look at it to see that he had sent off the wrong player. So video referee isn't the greatest thing in the world in my opinion, but that's not what we should be talking about. We should talk about the semi-finals. We have some cracking semi-finals coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, respectively. We have Mexico and Germany, as I already said, and Portugal and Chile. Ronaldo versus Alexis Sanchez. I'm hoping for Portugal to get through because I think Mexico will have a better chance against Portugal. But to be honest, I think Alexis and the Chileans will have too much for Portugal and they'll go out. And Mexico will, I think, just about beat Germany. I say it'll take extra time, but I think they'll do it. So Chile will beat Germany as well. So we'll have a Mexico and Chile final for the Confederations Cup. Next up, we talk about one of my favourite times in the Irish footballing calendar, early July, the Europa League qualifying rounds. Now, last year, I think I went to Pats versus some Luxembourg team. I can't remember the name. And Pats versus Belarusian Minsk, Dynamo Minsk, I think. Or I just can't remember their name, to be honest, at this stage. Jeez. But this year, Pats aren't in Europe. But ties for the Irish teams in the Europa League follows. Ledvia Tallinn versus Cork, Michelin versus Derry City, Shamrock Rovers versus Stranraer of Iceland, and in the second round qualifying of the Champions League, which Dundalk are in, they have the almighty task of playing Norwegian giants Rosenborg. Now, I'm going to start with the Europa League because those Europa League ties come first before the Dundalk tie because it's the second qualifying round. I think Cork and Shamrock Rovers will go through because, to be honest, I don't know much about the Estonian League or the Icelandic League, but in my opinion, I think Rovers and Cork City will have, especially Cork City, will have too much for both of those sides. All other sides in the Europa League actually are playing away from home first, including, I think, both the two Northern Irish sides. I know they're in it. Ballymena, who played Bad Club from Norway, I'm pretty sure, and also Coleraine play a team from Norway, which I can't remember the name of. But if you guys know, leave down in the comments. Thank you. So I don't know about that. I think Ballymena will probably get knocked out by Old Club. And I'm not sure about Coleraine. As I said, I can't remember who they're playing. But League of Ireland wise, I think Cork are really strong. As I said, they're unbeaten this season. Something like 19 games gone, 55 points. That's an insane record to have at this stage of the season. We're just over halfway through. Cork dominating the league by a mile. I think there'll be too much for Ledvia Tallinn. As I said, first leg is away first in Estonia on Thursday. It's probably not on TV. It is League of Ireland football. Irish TV stations don't give a shit. Michelin, Derry, massive task for Derry to get past Michelin. Won the Danish league title in the last 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2013. It would have been 2013, 2014, I think. So I think that'll be too much of a task for Derry City, unfortunately. They're playing that home game in Sligo in the showground. So if you live near Sligo or you don't live near enough to Dublin, they can't see Shamrock Rovers or Dundalk play, which is Dundalk's near Dublin. For any of you that don't know, for me personally, Dundalk is quite close. But yeah, pop down to the showgrounds, watch Derry City play Michelin, back the Irish teams in Europe, except Shamrock Rovers. No, I'm just kidding. No, am I? I don't really know, to be honest. I used to feel that way, but not anymore. So Stranraer, I wish you luck in the Europa League, to be honest. But I also kind of want Rovers to get through to at least the third qualifying round, because I'm off to Belgium on the 28th of July, which means that derby will be cancelled and hopefully it'll be rescheduled for when I'm back in the country. So yeah, Ledvia Tallinn, I think Cork will be Ledvia Tallinn. Michelin will probably knock out Derry City. Fingers crossed that they can cause an absolute upset in the first round qualifying and knock Michelin out. Honestly, I think that would be one of the biggest upsets in Irish football. Even if they could just win one of the legs, since Sligo went away to Rosenborg and won 2-1. So that on I can remember I was in Holland for that and I was going ballistic. I hadn't really supported anyone. Then I was just going to Sligo matches with Odrin, and honest God, my heart was pounding for Sligo Rovers just to get that victory away in Norway. And I said I think Shamrock Rovers would be too strong for the Icelandic side, Stranraer, so that'll be all cleared up as well. So I think 2 out of 3 Irish sides will get through to the next round of the Europa League. Now on to Dundalk. Dundalk have a mouth-watering clash in that Champions League against Rosenborg. I'm confident they can do a job with Oriel, but they need to. I think they need to get at least 2 goals with Oriel, and they need to keep a clean sheet. As long as I think those 2 things are key, and I think they need to get a massive crowd behind them as well, because Rosenborg will probably bring a lot of people with them, and then the tough task is going away to Rosenborg. It's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough for Dundalk to get anything out of that game. That's why they need a strong lead in the home leg, so they can take something to the away leg, and that they'll be in a good position that they can just maybe hold on if they have to. And even if they concede one goal, they still know that they're through. So I think it'll be a mouth-watering task for Dundalk, which we'll go into more detail on the next episode of Sunday Soccer. But for now, I'm still 50-50 with it. I just need more of an insight to it before I can make my mind up. But at the moment, just because I love the League of Ireland so much, I'm going to go for Dundalk to go through. On to transfer news, a lot of kind of like main news is basically Mohamed Salah went to Liverpool for 34 million. Now listen to this. Mohamed Salah, who kind of flopped at the mighty Chelsea, went to Liverpool for 34 million. It could be even more if they start winning trophies, right? And 4 years previously, 3 years even, I'm not really sure. We signed out in 2012, so yeah, 3-4 years previously. Eden Hazard signed for Chelsea for 32 million. And now a Chelsea reject is signing for Liverpool for 34 million. Look how inflation is boom. I was talking to a good friend of mine today about Liverpool. Jan Lovren was signed for 20 million as a centre half for Liverpool, right? And people were just like, whoa, that's so much for a centre half. And now the likes of Koulibaly from Napoli and Virgil van Dijk from Southampton are talking about being 60-50 million. That's crazy. Look at that price rocket in defenders at the moment. It's going unreal. It's mainly the Premier League you see it in though. I don't see the massive skyrocket in prices in other leagues as much as they do in Premier League. It's mainly because Premier League clubs can actually pay the money. They can fork out the 50s and 60s to millions to sign these players. But obviously, at the moment, Virgil van Dijk's been linked with everywhere. And to be honest, loads of players have been linked with Chelsea. Alex Sandro, Dani Alves, Robert Lewandowski, I know, right? And Virgil van Dijk. I call every single one of them bullshit, because nothing is finalised until it's signed pen and paper and the jersey has been lifted in the press room. Although I did see a tweet that was out when we get our kit deal, which is I think it's being announced in July, early July, that then we'll announce some signings, and that possibly could be true. And those players, because it would kind of look bad on Chelsea's part if they were presenting players in an Adidas gear. So maybe that's why we're holding off on like announcing signings. We have signed players, but at the moment I don't think we have, to be honest. Like, and even Antonio Conte's getting frustrated. There's been so many rumours that he wants to leave, and I'm pretty sure I brought it up in the last episode. But I believe those rumours more than anything because they're consistent. Not like these Lewandowski stories that it just popped out on a Wednesday or Tuesday and went away. Conte, there was talks in the middle of the season. There was talks towards the end of the season. There's talks now. So I pray to whoever that it doesn't happen, but I think it's more likely that it will happen than won't. Yeah, but other transfer news. Will Hughes is signed for Watford. That's a good signing. I've always liked Will Hughes. I haven't heard of him for a while, to be honest, because since 5, the channel got the rights for the Football League show. I haven't really seen a lot of Football League except for last year when I went to the Brentford Birmingham game. Just because you don't really have 5 in Ireland. You do, but it's on the air stuff, an airbox, and in most rooms in my house we have Sky, so I don't really get to see it. But I do like Will Hughes. The mighty Glenn Whelan, the man, the myth, the legend, has gone the other way, as in not like from Watford, but he has gone to Derby for about 1 million. Also another Derby transfer that's been it's like way back. Curtis Davis signed for Derby. I remember talking to Richard Keogh about it. That's how I remember. So that's a good signing for Derby. Derby looking actually quite strong to start the season. So that could be a good season for Derby with the likes of Curtis Davis, the mighty Glenn Whelan, and obviously Richard Keogh, who doesn't love Richard Keogh. And they got 7.1 million for Will Hughes. So that can be added back into the bank to try and sign someone else. Oh, Matty Ryan went to Brighton. That's one I completely forgot about. Literally, it just skipped my mind. I was just thinking about signings, and then for some reason the Australia game came into my mind. So Matt Ryan has gone to Brighton on a 5-year deal from Valencia. I think it's a step down, but it's his decision. I'm trying to think of any more transfer news. I don't think there's any more realistic transfer news that's actually happened. because most of it is just bullshit stories. That's it for Sunday Soccer this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, Bohs won 2 in a row, and 3 are going to the Confederations Cup semi-finals. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Give the video a like, share it around social media, and remember, subscribe.